नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Tanedars, Kotaris, sitting with us through Nityananda TV, Sadhana TV, Ara TV, two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha, sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha, Trinidad, Tobago, Hyderabad, Gupta Kashi, Charlotte, Doncaster, New York, Varanasi, Morris Plains, Dubai, Vaidyanatham, China, Guadeloupe, Kastau, Croatia, Pondicherry, Madurai, Enriching Temple, Bangalore North, Ponca City, Oklahoma, London, Hyderabad, Dakota Dunes, Surrey, Canada, Vancouver, Artesia, California, New York, Varanasi, Seattle, Kolim, Tiruttani, Los Angeles, Arunachalam, Toronto, Kailasam, Kuala Lumpur, Palani, Melbourne, Tiruvarur, Chennai, Tiruvanmiyur, Phillip Island, St. Louis, New Jersey, Omkareshwar, and some more cities. Lot more cities are joining. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I'll continue on the 7th verse of the Isavasya Upanishad. Please recite along with me. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra ko mohakaha shokaha ekatvamanupashyataha. Listen. In one who has cognized the reality, all existing beings become the very self, then what delusion, what sorrow of incompletion can there be for that seer living in the space of oneness, living Advaita? Listen. Listen. All existing beings become the very self, then what delusion, what sorrow of incompletion can there be for that seer living in the space of oneness, living Advaita? Anupashyataha, the being who is living Advaita. See, I can expand on this verse word by word, or I can just jump start and give you direct process. If I have to expand, I can expand Yasmin, in him. Sarvani, all. Bhutani, existing beings, are experienced his own very self. I can go on expanding. See, when you see everything exists in your consciousness, very soul, very self, where is the question of incompletion? Where is the question of sorrow? Where is the question of delusion? It is just oneness, living Advaita, Ekatvam, space of oneness. But I am not going to stop with giving you intellectual understanding. Please understand. I am going to give you the exact jump start process. It is as simple as your breathing. Just love. Understand? Many may be surprised because the subject Swamiji never speaks, never touches. It's love. I tell you, it can be as simple as you giving a smile, a calculated smile. I am not even going for unconditional, uncalculated love. Unconditional love, uncalculated, no. It can be as simple as calculated smile and as dirty as planning to grab something from him. You may be even planning, once you show your love, to grab something from the other person. His money or some pleasure from the other person or something which you want. It can be as dirty, as calculated, as simple as an act of smile. Understand, even those smallest acts and calculated acts, when it is done, gives you the glimpse of oneness. Understand? I am not saying give a calculated love or cunning love. No. All I am trying to tell you is even that gives you the experience of oneness. So when you evolve, give an unconditional. Actually, the unconditional love comes, how you know? When you start giving calculated love more and more, the confidence you develop on you, when the SDHD melts down, the confidence you develop on you, the energy you radiate, that becomes unconditional love. Unconditional love is not dependent on any action you do. Even you are breathing, you will be loving the whole world. Your existence, you will be thinking, what can I do further? How can I contribute further? Please listen. So do not deny if some of your acts are calculated conditional love. Don't deny the act itself. Go ahead with the act, you will see, you get the confidence to radiate unconditional, uncalculated love. Please understand, when it is calculated and conditional, if you deny, you destroy the possibility for the next level. Yes, the leaf of this tree, this plant can't be eaten. But wait, allow the tree to grow. The flower and the fruit of the tree will be useful. The conditional love, calculated love, planned love will start in your life, because that is the best way of relating with the life. But when it starts, don't deny it. Don't destroy it. Don't abuse it. Wait, it's okay. Today you felt, if I smile, he also may smile, she also may smile, then I'll develop the contact. Tomorrow he may become partner in my business, or he or she may become partner in my life, or he or she may support me in my venture. Whatever you may be planning, I am telling you that is okay. Don't stop the act of love, the function of love, because even if it is calculated, when you start functioning in the space of love, your confidence on love starts getting built. Your confidence on love starts getting built. Understand? That confidence will give you to radiate unconditional love. With the more and more act, the deeds, doings of love, this confidence on love, confidence on functioning out of the space of love starts developing. Please listen. One of the predominant thing you need to develop in your life is confidence to function out of space of love, because from there only you can take a jump to confidence to function out of space of oneness. See, in the space of oneness, there is no cunningness, there is no condition, there is no planning. But unfortunately, you don't have the courage to jump into that space. It is because you don't have courage, you go on doing some hypocritical game. It's like, there's a story by Ramakrishna. No one can be a best storyteller like Ramakrishna. He is the best in storytelling. A village authenticity, a raw authenticity. He is a Andhra Gongura chutney. As far as his storytelling is concerned, he is just Andhra Gongura chutney. A village rawness. That is his beauty, I think. That's his beauty. And even when he describes, you won't find any so-called social decency. There are many of his stories I can't tell in public satsang. I know now many will go and read the original book. Because human mind secretly enjoys anything dirty. It's anyhow. At least for that, read his stories. He has his own rawness. And the beauty of his rawness is his authenticity. tells a story, very beautiful. Even the description is so beautiful. An enlightened being walks on the river, crosses the river. Somebody asks him, how can I also walk like that? He says, there is no mantra or magic. Just remember Mahadeva's name and you can walk. And this guy also, okay, he went near the water. He was remembering Mahadeva's name, but he was not able to walk on the water. He was sinking. The enlightened master looked back and saw this fellow was sinking. That guy shouted, oh master, what happened, what happened? I am not able to walk on the water. Then the master says, you chanted Mahadeva's name, no doubt, but you also held your cloth up, it should not get wet. Means you did not have the confidence you are going to really walk on the water. You prepared yourself to get drowned only. Because you prepared yourself and you carried only that space. If you look at this story, see this guy, let us look at him as one of my disciples. If I look at him as my disciple, first thing I won't make fun of him. Nothing can be done. That is the way he is. And end of the day, he walking on the water is my responsibility. And whether the good or bad of he walking on the water is going to come to me. The amount of goodness the Gurukul kids are bringing, oh God, unimaginable. Unimaginable. With this third eye awakening and their ability to play with the powers, now I'm refining more and more those techniques and processes. See, if I am allowed to do only spiritual work, I can do so much. But what to do, whether it is a brick need to be bought or the cement need to be measured. In Bidadi campus, literally everything I have to look in what to do. Anyhow, I'm doing it. Soon you can see the Gurukul kids moving to the next level and radiating different powers. Even before you talk, they will tell what you are thinking and what you are planning. And it's going to be really funny to live with them. The kind of a goodness they are spreading. Everyone who walks into the ashram and sees the demonstration, they were floored. That is what I have to, because it's quite a long time. All these great yogic truths are made into a science. Please understand. There were always one or two people who were demonstrating those powers, but not in this mass scale, where you just call any kid and the kid comes and shakes you from your core and your logical understandings about life. So people look at this as almost Harry Potter school. What's going on? No one knows. The other day, one of our kids is successfully able to read second time 2 words. I made one Swami visited the ashram and he made a long statement, asked me to project that statement from my inner space and the kid to read. She picked up the 2 words. And it is not a joke. Apart from blindfold reading, the way they play with the consciousness, and without any risk and danger, so beautifully. Let me come back to this story which I was telling. So, even if this guy walks on the water, it is going to be my pride. So, I have to be responsible. Why he is not able to walk? That's where I will look in. It is nothing but because he doesn't have confidence. He is holding the cloth. He feels he is going to drown. So if I look at the whole story from my angle, first I will teach him to love water. I'll teach him to love water. Please understand. Completion means not just not having incompletion, but having communion. Understand? Completion means you live, I live. No. You live, I live is not completion. We live is completion. You live, I live is not completion. We live is completion. First, I would have taught him the science of love. That would have brought so much confidence in him. Confidence means even if I drown, I know that waterway is not going to kill me. I know I'll swim, or water will leave me in safe place. When that love is experienced, he will be able to jump into that space of trust. Yes, I can walk on the water. I tell you, love is one of the most powerful stepping stone for living Advaita. I should tell you, I should dedicate 1 year for loving Advaita, then living Advaita will happen. Because most of you are stuck due to your inability to love. Inability to love. And the wrong ideas taught about love. You think it should always be pure, unconditional, grand, life-sacrificing act. Till then, shut down. No. This plant cannot have the greed to give the fruit day one. No. It needs to grow. It needs to first bring flower. Then the flower needs to become fruit. First unripe, then ripe. So understand, in the beginning it may be calculated or small act. It may be very calculated, cunning, and the act is very small, just a smile, but expecting 2 crore advance loan for the second smile. It can be such a small, uncalculated act that is okay. Start with your courage. You will see, you will develop so much of confidence on acting out of love space. Then automatically you will see even you will be shocked. Some of the greatest sacrifices, unconditional acts, you will do it before even you thought you are planning or doing it. I tell you, all unconditional, great sacrifices out of love has happened before even they realized they are doing it. Before even they realize they are doing it. That is why always the boons of Mahadeva. See, he is not fool, understand? He is not fool to give whatever Bhasmasura asks and then run around. He is not a fool. He is in the space of unconditional love and tyaga, sacrifice. Before even he thinks the side effect and after effect of it, he has done it. He has given it. Before even he planned, understood the side effect and after effect of it, he has given it. Because all great sacrifice are all experiences of unconditional love is done before even you think. See Mahadeva's Leelas, whether it is done in Kailasa or in Madurai, the own place or in father-in-law's place. The whole thing. See the kind of a space he carries. The behavior the Puranas describe. He marries Parvati. Parvati is from a royal family. She can't handle cold, the rough weather of Kailasa. Even though she is born in the hills to the Himaraja, she was brought up in a palace. So comfortably she lived. So when he saw Parvati needs a comfortable place, and then this Ganesha is there, runs around and finishes off everyone. And Subramanya, he wanted a place to live. He calls Vishwakarma and immediately he creates the best, most beautiful golden city. Ravana comes to attend the ceremony, the inauguration ceremony. All the devotees of Mahadeva, Kinnara, Kimburuda, Gandharva, Gandhara, Yaksha, Rakshasa, everyone is there for the inauguration. After the inauguration, Mahadeva opens himself and says, whoever wants whatever, come on, here I am here to bless you all, take it. Whoever wants whatever he gives. And then Ravana comes and says, I want this city, for which inauguration he has come. No second thought, second idea. And no question of this planning about side effect and after effect. Even if it was me, I would have called the Vishwakarma and told him, hey, make one more and give. But Mahadeva is Mahadeva. He did not bother to do that. Because even the calling time, in those few seconds, maybe Vishnu will come and stop. Or Brahma will come and beg, don't do that. Or Devi will tell, what are you doing? We should have an address which is whole and soul, which nobody else has. So he is not giving space for any of that. He is he, Tyagaraja. The space of unconditional love and sacrifice. He just says, take it, that's all. Take it. For which inauguration the whole world gathered. He just said, take it. Actually, he gave the city. That city only is Lanka. Lanka is that city only. But this fool, this Ravana, his greed was so much. He took that Lanka city, golden city, and kept it in Lanka and came back. And his greed did not stop. He wants the whole Kailasa. That is where the problem started. And he was crushed under the Kailasa. Anyhow, look into the space without bothering about side effect and after effect and what we are giving, whether he is qualified. Just, yes, take it. I tell you, all the great acts of unconditional love and sacrifice is done only in the space where you don't even think. But for that space to grow in you, in the initial level, you need to encourage even the conditional love acts, or even if it is small acts of love. And acts of love is not always dependent on just giving. Please understand, it is not all about giving. Here I use the example of Mahadeva giving, but it is not always about giving. It is even about taking. This poor lady, old lady, who just cooks few idlis and sells in Madurai. This fellow comes from all the way from Kailasa, as if he doesn't get that idli in Kailasa, and says, I will work for you, you give me idli. She says, all right. And then this fellow bargains, how many idli you will give? To Mahadeva, to this old lady. That lady says, I'll give you full. How much you can eat, that much I'll give you. And then this poor lady did not have intelligence to make an agreement with this guy. She should have made at least the agreement. All right, I'll give you full meal, and you should finish the job allotted to me by the king. There was a story that once there was a flood in the Vaigai river in the Madurai. King declares that every citizen should dump mud and build an embankment for certain portion so that the city is protected. So all the people from their own family, or they get some workers and start filling, doing the embankment. Actually, Vaigai is a man-made river. It's a man-made river done by the Shiva Bhutas and Ganas when they came to attend the marriage. Because Mahadeva always loved to sit in the banks of a river. He lived in Kailasa, where the Ganga starts, and Varanasi, where Ganga comes to touch his feet. So he wanted an atmosphere of a river. And actually, till he went back to Kailasa, he always lived in the palace near the river. Riverfront palace only he lived. He did not live in the main palace. The main palace is the temple now. The Madurai temple is the main palace, where Meenakshi lived and ruled, conducted the court. But he will always go and sit in the riverfront palace, playing dice with all his bhutas, bhutaganas, and drinking somarasa. He will neither participate in the administration nor support Meenakshi in any work. He will just go around and give boons and lying in the riverfront palace. So he goes to that lady and asks, what will you give me? She says, I will give you as much as you want, eat. Only when he started eating, she realized what commitment she made. He finished the whole thing. Nothing is left with that lady. He finished the whole thing. Then he goes and sleeps. When that lady comes and wakes him up, hey, wake up and do your work. Otherwise, king will punish me. He says, no, just now I ate, I'm feeling a little tired. And he lied down and slept. King comes for supervision. And he says, whose portion it is? It's not, work has not happened. Everyone tells, this is the old lady who sells idli. Those days idli. Who sells idli, her portion. They call that lady. She says, what can I do? This fellow, I hired him and gave him whatever he wanted. And he is lying down there after eating. I tell you, he did not just eat idlis. He ate all her karmas. That is why he ate full. And then king asks him, why are you not working? He has no answer. He just woke up and sat and looked the king. The king got very annoyed because he did not get the answer, and he threw his stick and beaten Mahadeva. And that beating, it was experienced by every existing being, including king. So king was shocked. I tell you, the story has a beautiful meaning. One, love is not always associated to giving, even taking. He coming down and eating the Vandi's food is love. Even it may be even taking, but love is love is love. Second, because he's in that space, I tell you, his love is more visible in grabbing all the idlis of Vandi and eating than giving the golden city to Ravana. If I look at both scenes, he giving that golden city to Ravana and grabbing all the idlis from Vandi, old lady, and eating. He must have eaten with both hands. Everything with that chutney flowing. And telling that old lady, come on, put some more. And she running around for the rice, for the chutney, and looking this side and that side, and making more idlis, more chutney, grinding, and telling, wait, I am making. If I look at both scenes, I'll feel the second scene is more cute and more loving. Love is not bound by the act only giving. If I see both scenes, I can see actually both together now. How Devi was standing, staring at him, shivering. What this fellow is going to tell now? Is he going to give away this city? And Ganesha's looking at him. Subramanya, oh God, what he asked? Vishnu about to stop the dana, intervene. Ravana standing with a hand, Mahadeva, I want your city. With the right royal strength of a devotee. See, even, I'm telling you, even Ravana is a character to be described. Now, I will, see, unless you have a kind of the right over Mahadeva, how will you ask his city? It's like having right over Mahadeva. I can see the whole scene. On this other side, this old lady sitting in the roadside, making idlis with that, must have been a mud pot with a stone, what do you call it? I don't know that. Adupu. Stove or whatever word you want to use for, which is used for cooking. With that stone stove, making idlis one side, and the other side trying to make chutney. And Mahadeva sitting with the mud plate and saying, hey, where is your idli? Come on, I finished. And she directly emptying from the vessel to the plate all the idlis. And by the time she makes the chutney and serves, the idli is disappeared. And he unable to wait and putting all the fingers into his mouth and asking, oh, hey, get me more idli. I can see both the scenes, I tell you. In the second scene, more love is expressed than the first scene. Be very clear. Love does not need to be restricted only to the act of giving. And love does not need to be described, only it should be unconditional or selfless. Whether it is act of giving or receiving, conditional or unconditional, selfless or selfish, start practicing. Start practicing. I know ultimately unconditional, selfless love is the greatest. But that fruit will not happen if you cut all the roots start sprouting. The fruit of this tree will not happen if the tree is not allowed to grow at all. Many times these fools, for the sake of fruit, cut the root. Hey, if you want fruit, allow the root to exist and grow. Actually, when he was eating the idli from Mandi and playing with her, the kind of a loving space he was in was so grand. That is why when the king threw the stick on him, that oneness was literally demonstrated. Please understand. He could have done something else, like send the stick back to the king and beat him and finish him off. Our king could have just dropped dead. He could have done anything to show he is he. He did not do any of that. He just, I think, after nicely eating one this idli, he was in samadhi, relaxing in his oneness, the cosmic oneness. And this foolish king came and hit. That's why he got hit. So don't hit the people who are lying in samadhi. That's the lesson. even if you are a king. The hit will come back, and the man you hit, he will be able to handle. But when it comes back, who knows whether you will be able to handle it or not? I can see the whole scene. The kind of a right Ravana had on Mahadeva, because he's a devotee, I can say, you having right over Mahadeva is one-sided love. Mahadeva feels he has right over you is the real love. I can say, in the scene of Ravana asking and taking, is more like Mahadeva acknowledges that Ravana has a right over him, but in the Vandi scene, he declares, I have a right over her. Understand? That is the peak of love. When Mahadeva feels, I have a right over her, this poor lady who lives by selling idli, you see, her whole investment is that day material she has. Whatever she sells, the little profit she gets, she will also eat. And with that remaining money, that's the running capital for her. If I had to tell in the modern day, maybe she must be making 100 rupee a day with the investment of another 100 rupee. With this 100 rupee only, she must be living, taking care of all her things. And the another 100 rupee is a running capital. And this fellow goes and sits and not only eats the profit, running capital also. Tomorrow what she will do for her livelihood? But he knows he has a right over her, and just swallows the whole thing. Other than the mud pot and that stove, he has not left anything else. And did not even do the job, went and lied down. Understand, every Leela of Mahadeva demonstrates the acting out of love. And it is just acting out of love. Whether he comes down to eat one these idlis. Madurai idli was such, even in those days, Mahadeva came physically to eat Madurai idli. I can say that Madurai idli vendors can put a board. Even Mahadeva comes physically here, came physically here to eat our idli. Whether he comes down to eat idli of the old lady, idli vendor, or he comes down to sell firewood, to drive away a singing competitor who came to challenge the temple singer, a devotee. Everything is the pure form of expression of love. Understand, that is the ultimate, no doubt. But listen, The ultimate will start when you start practicing the love the way in which you know. The way in which you know. It is by practice the confidence to operate from the space of love starts developing in you. That will help you to take the jump to operate from the space of oneness. I tell you, loving Advaita will lead to living Advaita. Take this as a spiritual practice. Today's subject for Vakyartha Sadas: what all ways you stopped yourself radiating love, saying, oh, it's a small act, saying, oh, it's a cunning act, saying, no, it's a calculated, I had my own calculations for this love, that's why I did not feel it's love and I did not function, I did not radiate, I just stopped myself, whatever may be. You will have Vakyartha today about all this and how to break all that and radiate love. Radiate love. It may be as small act as smiling, giving a smile, or it may even be calculated. I am not saying you should be having calculated love, selfish love, or it should be only small. No. Love should be ultimately selfless, uncalculated, unconditional. But when are you going to start? Even if you want to reach the moon or the sun or the Mars, you have to start from where you are. So start. Start operating constantly from the space of love. Automatically the purification will happen, selflessness will happen. The great selfless sacrifices you will be doing without even you knowing. When Mahadeva gave, he did not have a second thought, oh, I am giving away this whole golden city. No. He knows he will get it as a dowry from Madurai. And Madurai was golden city. We will again make it as golden city. Start making this as a practice. Especially people who are planning for Varanasi inner awakening. Understand, the Cambodia inner awakening, one of the special uniqueness I added is a strong, deep friendliness. Varanasi आइए, a strong, deep Mahadeva's love current. Understand? Mahadeva's love cannot be called as love acts. It is love current. So Varanasi में The uniqueness will be Mahadeva's love current. So prepare yourself to experience that and come. So whether it is a small or big, go on operating from love. Let this be your homework, preparation homework, preparatory homework for Varanasi IA. Even if you are not planning for Varanasi IA, do the preparatory homework. Wherever I am, you will experience that here. Understand? Many of the sincere, intense devotees experience Shivoham without even coming to Cambodia, wherever they sat. They had that experience, they had that Kundalini awakening, they had that evolution. Many husbands born to work for the wife to run around enjoying the spiritual programs of many of them. Now, literally experienced Shivoham. It was such a different plane. I tell you now, again. You are coming, great. If you are not coming also, don't bother. Do this preparatory homework. Wherever you are, from there, you will experience what is going on in Varanasi. Don't think I relay only visuals through two-way. Energy also is relayed. The love. Love current of Mahadeva. That's the right word I will use. It can never be, because unfortunately you always associated love with the act. If you try to define based on the act, who can define chasing Vandi and eating all our idli as act? It's a love. Only if you experience the love current of Mahadeva, you know that's the most beautiful, cute, loving act ever Mahadeva has performed. It can never be compared to any other act of Mahadeva. Understand? If you want to catch the love current of Mahadeva, meditate on this scene where Vandi is running around, struggling, cooking, boiling idlis one side and making chutney other side and trying to boil the sambar, and this fellow sitting with an empty plate and licking the fingers. Hey, I'm waiting. I tell you, if you want the protection of Mahadeva, you have to meditate on Kala Bhairava, because that is the form in which he even removed the head of Brahma. If you want the enlightenment from Mahadeva, you have to meditate on the form of Dakshinamurti. That is the form in which he transmitted enlightenment to all the rishis. If you want wealth from Mahadeva, you have to meditate on the form of Dhanagarshana Bhairava, where he gave wealth to Kubera itself. If you want powers from Mahadeva, you should meditate on the Chakradhana Murti, where he gave Sudarshana Chakra to Vishnu. If you want to understand the love current of Mahadeva, meditate on the form where he is sitting with an empty plate with Vandi and licking his finger, asking for more idli and chutney. I tell you, meditate on the love current of Mahadeva. you will catch. You will really catch what is really love. Understand that today's subject for Vakyartha Sadas is how we forgot the so many possibilities of love by complaining it is too small or calculated and selfish. How we can break all these barriers and start living love. And tomorrow's subject for Vakyartha Sadas, today itself I am giving tomorrow's subject for Vakyartha Sadas, Mahadeva's love current. Mahadeva's love current. Mahadeva's love current. வெள்ளி மலை வந்த வேந்தன் ராவணன் கனகபுரி தந்த நிகழ்வை காதல் என்பேனா, மதுரை வீதியில் கால்தேய நடந்து திரைமறைவில் நின்று தினமும் சங்கரா எனப் புலம்பும் சந்தத பாடகர்க்கு சங்கம் வளர்த்த தமிழ் மதுரை அடிமையாக வேண்டாம் என்று அறைகூவல் விடுத்தவனை விரையோடச் செய்திட விறகுதலை தாங்கி விறகனூர் வந்த உன் நிகழ்வை காதல் என்பேனா, அருணையின் மலையில் கருணையின் வடிவாய் அடியும் முடியும் காட்டாது நின்று காட்டியும் காட்டாதும் கரைந்திருக்கும் வேதனை விட்டு நுவுக்கு கடையில் காட்டிய பதத்தை காட்டியே ஞானத் தூட்டிய செயலை காதல் என்பேனா, கருணையின் பொருளே வந்தியின் வட்டிலில் அமர்ந்து தொட்டில் குழந்தை போலே கொடுத்ததையெல்லாம் உண்டுவிட்டு இன்னும் தா என்று கேட்க எங்கே போவேன் என்று அலையும் பாட்டியின் முன்னமர்ந்து வெறும் கல்லை இடித்து கொண்டு வெறும் விரலை நக்கி அவள் வேதனையைக் கண்டு குறுநகை உருந்து மலர்ந்திருக்கும் முகத்தை காதல் என்பேனா, எதை சொல்வேன் காதல் என்று என்னவனே, கரிக்குருவிக்கு பாடஞ்சொன்னதை காதல் என்பேனா, ஆரண்யத்தில் அமர்ந்த ரிஷிகளுக்கு ஞானஞ்சொன்னதை காதல் என்பேனா, சக்கரம் கொடுத்ததை காதல் என்பேனா, தந்தலையில் கை வைக்க வருமான் என்று தெரிந்தும் பஸ்மாசுரனுக்கு வரம் தந்ததை காதல் என்பேனா, எதை காதல் என்பேன் என்னவனே, மன்னவனே தென்னவனே எனக்குள் நின்று என்றென்றும் நானே நீ என்றும் நீயே நான் என்றும் உணர்த்திய அருணகிரி யோகியே உன் அரவணைப்பை காதல் என்பேனா, ஆணும் பெண்ணும் அலியும் கடந்து தானும் நின்றாகி இங்குனக்கு தாயை வேண்டாம் என்று சொன்ன பிருங்கிக்கும் தடிதன்னை தந்து அவனுக்கும் அளித்தாயே ஆன்ம முக்தியை அதை காதல் என்பேனா, ஞானத்தை பிருங்கிக்கு அளித்திட தானத்து வீட்டுக்குள் தனியாய் இருக்க முடியாது, மானத்தை கடந்த பார்வதி உள் விடமாட்டாள் என்றறிந்தும் ஊடலுக்கு பயந்திராது கூடலுக்கும் ஊடலுக்கும் கலந்து இரண்டும் கடந்து பிருங்கிக்கும் ஞானந்தந்த பெருமானே அதை காதல் என்பேனா, எதை காதல் என்பேன் என்னவனே தென்னவனே மன்னவனே வாழ்க நின்பதம் வளர்க நின்பதம் என்றென்றும் என்போலும் தீனர்க்கும் இனியதை தந்து காதலை கற்பித்து வாழ்வாய் வரம்பொருளே வாழ்வாய் மகதேவா வாழ்வாய் வாழ்வாய் உன் வாழ்வே உலகின் வாழ்வாய் நின்று வாழ்வாய். I don't think I can translate this. It is my own love with Mahadeva. It can never be translated. It's like a teenage boy writing a love letter to his puppy love. I feel too shy to translate. It can never be translated. See, the puppy love comes by seeing the simple actions of a dress or a small acts. Doesn't come by knowing the other person or the stable qualities, the concepts the other person believes. No, all that is not considered in puppy love. It is just what kind of a dress he or she is wearing, what is the hairstyle, what pen, pencil, cell phone he has, what vehicle he drives. That's all, those simple things only. Nothing much matters. So here I have described Mahadeva only with those simple acts of him. I did not describe Andanda Brahmanda Kodi Nayaka. No, I have not described the energy which moves the sun and the moon and the... No, I have not described him in that way. I have described him with a simple puppy love mentality. I have not even described him with all his miraculous powers of கல்யாணைக்கு கரும்பூட்டி கல்லிலே பூட்டி கடலில் பாய்ச்சும் போதும் நற்றுணையாக இருக்கும் நமச்சிவாயனே. I am not describing him in all that aspect. I have described him in his simple, ordinary acts, like a puppy love of a teenager. Maybe tomorrow's Vakyarthadas, replay what I described and try to translate and meditate on it and discuss about it. That should be the Vakyarthadas for tomorrow, to understand the love current of Mahadeva. சிவதனுசு வேண்டுமென்று காலங்கள் கல்பம்பல காட்டிலே கடுந்தவம் புரிந்த அர்ஜுனன் மூடன் மதுரை மக்களாகிய எங்களிடம் கேட்டிருந்தால் விறகு விற்க அவன் வரும்பொழுது 2 அணா கொடுத்து 2 விறகை வாங்கி கையில் கொடுத்திருப்போம். அது செய்திருக்கும் சிவதனுசுவின் வேலையை. Meditate on the love current of Mahadeva. It is not bound by acts. It's a current. And encourage, even if it's the smallest act, encourage acting out of the space of love. I tell you, you will find the meaning for life. You will find meaning for life.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org, www.youtube.com/lifeblissfoundation.